Good
Hey,
morning.
good morning.
Hi. How are ya?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, everybody. Hi, Evolve from.
Hey,
This is live. Hi, Evolve. Okay. Um,
hi, Evolve Live. Yes.
this is Shannon and
Yeah,
Dreama
good
from
morning.
iEvolveTV. Good morning. Oh,
It's a
here we are.
wonderful Friday. No
It
bullshit
is.
Friday. Good morning.
Well, now it can't go on YouTube. Good job,
Oh,
Dreama.
sorry. Oh, no bleep Friday.
I'm just teasing. I'm totally teasing. It's
That's
fine.
okay.
A little. I said that to Brian a couple weeks ago. I'm like, you've dropped the F bomb like 3 times. I still can't. He's like, what? Yeah. But that's a nighttime show. So
Yeah,
that's after
that's
dark.
okay. Right.
It's just funny.
Yes. Good.
Um,
Good morning to you. Yeah.
so we started talking and coming together this morning. And, and we started how many different conversations just kind of blabbing, and we're like, we can't keep talking about that.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about uh
We gotta stop.
lots of different things, really. Feminine identity, honestly, that's sort of what it is about how as women we're sort of um, pushed into a mold. Would you say? You know, in a
Yeah,
lot of ways that the world or whether well the system tries to tell you how you should be, how you should look, how you should do this, and then other people will, if you say like, "Oh, I feel so fat," and you're not really fat, they'll be like, "You're
right,
not fat. What are you talking about?" But it's about your own body, how you feel in your body.
right.
That's what we were talking about. Because I was like, you put on weight. A lot of people put on what they would call, weight over the COVID.
Oh,
They'll be like,
yeah,
"Oh, I gained weight over the COVID. I
I
was in the
did.
house." And
I did.
hey, and so
I mean, my gym closed. I spent, I have 5 days a week
yeah, at the
working
gym,
out,
yeah,
and then
and then
not.
they're closed, and then you can't. So then
Right.
everything changes, and then all of a sudden, if you say anything, some people you ain't fat, you're not fat, you could gain weight, and they don't understand. In your skin, in my skin, no thanks, I can't. If I do, all my clothes won't freaking fit.
No, and I'm there. No,
Yeah,
I'm there. Doesn't I'm gonna adjust my camera just a little bit because it's a little high. I could have done that before, but that's okay. Um, yeah, like that might be the case. Like, okay, it's one person's perspective versus yours is totally different. But I am at that spot where I'm like, my clothes don't fit me now.
yeah, yeah.
They no longer fit.
And
So great.
it's always you have the holiday thing too. You go through the Christmas and the
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, and you're packing it in like a rabbit or whatever, or you like a chipmunk, you know, packing in the goodies. I like the goodies. I mean, I'm a. That's what I always tell my kids. I'm a sugar addict, just like it. I mean, I love sugar. That's a bad thing, but it like runs in the
Uh,
family. Our whole family's like, what do you call it? They just sugar
they got the sugar.
addicted to sugar.
Uh, my dad said your clothes don't fit me
Oh.
either.
Yeah, I don't think so. uh, that's funny. Yeah,
My poor dad puts up with so much of my crap. Well, he's a pain in the butt too, so that's all right.
yeah,
Goes both ways.
yeah. Hey, it's a blessing to have your dad. I wish I had my dad still here in this incarnation, but he's
Yeah.
with me, but it's not the same in a lot of ways. Can't
Oh,
reach
absolutely.
out and touch him, you
Right.
can reach out, and I talk to him all the time, but it's just different, you know. So
Right.
so enjoy him while you got him. That's my message. I tell everybody, man, if you got a dad, love that dad, man.
Did you see the post I posted on Facebook the other day? First of all, he hates it when I say that he's in his twilight years. He hates that.
Oh my God. That's what you said?
And no. I posted this on Facebook because I think he is completely convinced that he and his girlfriend Therese are convinced that I'm like super psychic.
Oh, okay.
Because whenever he gets off the phone, he'll say, "Okay, bye," and then he puts his phone in his pocket.
Okay.
And now, if I'm not right by my phone, so I'll use my headphones. I'm like, I can't believe he doesn't realize. And a lot of times it'll be just him and Therese talking about like whatever we talked about on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff. So they were talking about where they were going to get a burger, and I'm like, don't eat that. It'll give you the,
Yeah.
jets. And he's like, what in the? Oh, you could hear him cussing on the other side.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's so funny. It's absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
And they don't know.
No, yeah.
It's so funny.
Oh geez. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we haven't did this in a couple weeks. It's been
I
yeah,
know.
right. We stopped right before New Year, or was it Christmas? I don't remember.
My dad, it was before Christmas. Before we did one in between, I think. But my dad just brought up something. He must be feeling feisty this morning.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I know what I was doing when I died in my previous life."
Okay.
Which I know that he does, but like he's never revealed it.
Really?
Maybe he'll
Really?
reveal it.
Wow. I wonder what it was.
I know.
Reveal.
I hope
What is it?
I
What is it? Or
hope it's appropriate.
should I tap in and just figure it out myself? I can do that.
Oh, well, it's up to you.
Just tap in.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it? Let's see. I can do that. No, not working right now. I feel like there's some block or something there.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
he's blocking me. Are you blocking me?
I'm
Are you
curious.
blocking me, keeping me out?
As soon as you said that, he probably said, no, no,
I know,
no,
that's
no,
what
no.
I felt like, no, don't come here. Don't come over here. No, you're not tapping into my brain today. No. Yeah. So, yeah, we were talking quite a bit yesterday. I had a session about reincarnation. It was really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And I've really, and I've had a lot of questions about that lately. A lot of clients with questions on reincarnation, because I think that, well, just to give a plug for a series that was just placed on Netflix called Surviving. I think it's called Surviving Death or something.
Oh.
Anyway, it's number 6 on there is on reincarnation. It's really awesome. It's a lot of the testimonies of children that have, they'll be like 2 or 3 years old and start talking about their reincarnated experiences.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. And if you've ever doubted reincarnation, that's a great thing to watch. A past life, a lot of people really needing and wanting to walk into past life and get healing on past lives, the things that they have went through before, and they're still feeling connected to, or it feels like it's connected to you, or you're still connected to it.
It's breaking old patterns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of those old patterns have to do with past experience. I mean, I've had people that were come over here. No, you're not tapping into my brain today. No.
Right.
I've had the people that were like connected to. They were either they're now a female, but they were a male in the past life.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
And the switcheroo on that, they were a male or a female in the past, and now they're a male, because you've chosen a different outcome for your life this time, and you had that experience. And so a lot of people seem to do that. I don't feel like I did that. I feel like I've always been a female in all my lives, but that's what I feel. But
yeah,
I think I'm pretty sure of that. I think so. Pretty sure of that. But anyway, so I thought that was just super interesting. But that show is really good. It goes. They also have I think there's 6 or 7. You know how Netflix will do 1, 2. Each episode 1, 2, 3. Each episode is different. Number 6 is on reincarnation. I think number 3 and 4 is on mediumship, which is really interesting. If you want to know more about mediumship and how it works, and the difference between a mental medium and a physical medium.
Right.
Which is,
I know you know the difference.
I know the difference, yeah. So which is huge.
Which is kind of, I know for somebody on the other side, it's always like, I worry about what's coming in, because I don't know how much you see before you feel things.
Ooh, what's that?
My dad's trying to call me on Facebook. Dad, don't call me.
going to tell you what it was, what he was doing when he died in his previous life.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I sent him a link to pop on.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't think he realizes that it still goes through my computer on Facebook. So
Okay.
so he thinks he's just doing it on my phone.
Right.
So
right.
Dad, don't call me.
I don't know what it is. I keep seeing like an old an old
guy in his twilight years.
No, an old guy. The guy that is like out on the sea, and he's got the hat on, and he's like got the big wheel, and he's wheeling a big ship. You know, what is he like? The sea captain. You know, that's what I keep seeing in my consciousness. Mm-hmm. I keep seeing this sea captain. And maybe somebody had that in a past life. They were connected to the sea and they sailed on a big ship. I just keep seeing this captain, you know, the old, what is that guy, you know, they had a name for him.
The Morton Fisherman?
Yeah, sort of. That's what I keep seeing. I'm like, what is that? I don't know. Maybe that has to do with somebody. I don't know. I'm just picking up some energy somewhere here. But why this fisherman here, my consciousness just comes in and I see the big old sea captain and he's got the big wheel and he's, you know.
Does he have an eye patch?
This guy.
And does he say shiver me timbers?
No, no, this guy doesn't.
Okay.
He's just the old sea captain. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, talk about past lives. Hey, somebody out there, you were a sea captain.
That was probably my dad.
You were out on the sea and you were free. You enjoyed your freedom.
Maybe not.
Maybe you fell off their boat. Oh, mutiny. That's it. I don't know.
It was a mutiny?
Mutiny on the Bounty. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that was really interesting.
Coffee coming through my nose on this, live. That's great.
What?
Mutiny on the Bounty. That's funny.
Yeah. So, so that was a lot of what's been going on, but that I would definitely give a plug for that. That is such an interesting series they just put out. It's like, so good. A lot of those are really good. They're very explanatory.
Oh, here he is. He's here.
So good.
Well, hi, Dad.
A lot of those are really good. They're very explanatory. Good morning.
Hang on. I'm getting. Oh, Dad, I gotta turn. Something's.
Explanatory.
Go ahead and talk, Dad. Sorry. Oh, here he is.
Good morning.
He's here.
Oh, you got like a double playing.
So good. Oh, hi, Dad.
Those are really. They're very explanatory. Good morning.
Dad, you've got something open still on your side that's giving us double audio.
Here he is. Good morning.
He's here.
It's in a loop.
Oh, hi, Dad.
It's a time loop.
I just turned off his thing. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, it's so. I'm gonna try that again, but maybe he'll fix it.
Yeah, it's like
still on your side that's giving us. Okay, I muted him. It's his side.
Okay. Yeah.
He's just laughing in his closet, apparently.
Laughing in the closet.
I just turned off his thing. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna try that again, but he'll fix it. Still on your side that's giving us. Dad, turn something off.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
He's just laughing in his closet, apparently.
In the closet. Oh my God.
Turned off his thing. Okay, I'm going to turn off his volume again. Okay. Jima, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I was so annoyed. Okay, so his volume's just off. His
I
mic
thought
is
maybe
muted.
he had feedback coming.
He does.
Like coming through the computer. He's got to turn something on.
Does he realize he's live? Like, people all over the world are seeing you right now, dude. We have our little private chat here, so I'll tell him reverb. He'll understand that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I hope you can see it. I just sent it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Dad. Did you turn something off so we don't get double audio? So,
I don't know. Let's see.
I'll tell him reverb. He'll understand that.
That's good.
It says reverb.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I hope you can see it.
Feedback.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
But I haven't said anything.
All right, Dad. Did you turn something off so we don't get double audio? So,
I don't know.
I know what's happening. I got it.
I'll
tell him reverb. All right. He needs to close his Facebook. His Facebook's open.
Oh,
I just figured. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So that's what the delay is. So it's coming double audio. It's coming
Yep,
through.
it's like a feedback double play.
It's like delayed. Yeah. Oh, sorry everybody. Just take us a minute. Twilight Father. Oh, now what did he do? No, he turned off his restream.
Oh no. Now he turned off the whole thing.
Dad, you turned off the wrong thing, man.
There he is.
Turn off. Close your Facebook screen. Twilight Father.
Why, Father?
Oh, now what did he do? No, he turned off his restream.
Oh no.
So what do you want me to
Now
do?
he turned off the whole thing.
Dad, you turned off the wrong. Close the Facebook window. Close your Facebook screen.
Yeah. All right.
Twilight Father.
How's that?
How's that? See? Do you see what I'm? Look.
Did that work?
Do you see this right here? You see that on the screen? Like that's my page, or like an open Facebook window. Look.
Yeah.
Close. Gone.
I closed it.
There you go. Yeah. That's where you had all this double layers and layers.
Oh my Lanta.
Actually, I did it right away.
Sweet Jesus.
There you
Can you
go.
hear me now?
Yeah, can hear you. And I don't hear the, 5 minutes ago thing that we were saying too.
The loop is gone. We're not in the time loop now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do the time warp
That's
again.
what I felt like we were in a time loop. I'm like, oh my, we're in a time loop. Here we get to do it again and again and again.
Good morning, Dad.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you stuck in the closet?
Well, this is kind of sort of my office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not funny to say right now.
Why is that?
Well, we started talking about some things. Dreama and I were talking this morning, and we're like, we got to stop talking about that because that would be good for the show. And last night, I felt terrible. I felt so sick. Like Isabel's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. I just I couldn't keep my eyes open. I just wanted to lay down. And this morning, this eye is like so puffy, like I was laying on it. There's like dents in the eyelid, like where I was laying.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Dreama said that she went through something very similar.
Yeah.
Do you have a rectal cranial inversion?
Huh?
A rectal
Basically, my head is up my ass.
cranium inversion?
Ah.
Was my head up my ass?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was saying,
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know that nothing happened with my rectal.
Oh, well.
It happened with something else, though.
I might have to leave.
Okay.
You weirdos. This sounds like a private
God.
discussion between the two of you.
Oh, Lordy. Okay, yeah.
So, Dad, you want to tell us about your past life?
Yeah, go ahead. That's good.
I don't.
He might just.
Only little things. So you want to know about my past life? What I know?
What you died?
Well, you think you want to tell us?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't die an old man. I died probably a mid-30s person. Okay.
And that was just the last life, or a couple lives ago?
Oh, the last one.
The last.
Okay.
Yeah. I died in 1946. Hey. I'm looking at Zeus. What are you laughing about?
The Mark Show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do the show.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Keep
I
going.
died in 1946.
Okay.
And and so you say, what did I die from?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I was in the Army Air Corps, and I was flying a P-40 airplane, and I was over in England, and I was flying support over to France and Germany for the Air Corps, they call it then. And I was patrolling the English Channel, and I just about was running out of fuel in the aircraft, trying to take care of the guys on the ground with the airplane, and a German aircraft shot me from behind, and down I went. So, anyways,
Interesting.
I haven't flown since. Kind of, sort of. Anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow.
That is really funny, Dad. So she tapped into one of your lives. That was
your ideas of funny are a lot different than mine. But that's what I know.
Yeah, it's interesting though.
The boys are sleeping on the floor here. No, Zena, mom and dad, my mom and dad Huskies are sleeping on the floor. Zena and Zeus.
Aw.
So, as you can see, they're really wild.
Yeah.
So, Zeus, are you okay, buddy? Yeah, he's.
I picked this up recently.
Daily planetary guide. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, January. We're through January 11th through 17th.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And it talks about like what the planetary, like how much. It talks about like what's going to be happening in the solar system, basically, and like what kind of energies beyond the man-made stuff that comes in, right? Okay, so, or not that, but anyway, everyone wants to be a winner. It is the beginning of a new year, but it's no surprise that everyone's jostling for position, hoping to make their new resolutions come true. So it's kind of zodiac-y, but not really. It's really more based on the planetary, which is the same, right? So, so there is a slight bullying energy to Wednesday's Capricorn new moon, which brushes up against a domineering, extreme-driven Pluto. So we've got, weird energy anyway,
right?
Just from our solar system, or our planetary stuff.
Yeah.
So a shrewd, calculated, energetic force of the upstart renegade could cause traditional authority figures to lose their cool and make mistakes.
Wow, that's interesting.
Hereby losing the upper hand, this can take place in the private realm, where right fighters, not fingers, will stand up to local tyrants or in a public space. This year could start off with skirmishes, protests, and even bouts of street fighting.
Wow, that's amazing.
The secret to getting through this challenging energy is to keep your cool and use your wits to outsmart your opponents.
That's really good. Yeah.
Okay, so they did this. They would have published this,
Yeah.
at the end of last year,
exactly. Like the wee moon type of thing. I love the wee moon because they do that. They give you this forecast of what's going on, and they tell you what is the Chinese, like the Chinese, year of the dog, year of the whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what was it this year.
Last year, this year.
Last year, I know what it was. This year, did they say it was the year of the what? I don't know. I need to look at that.
Wasn't it the rat? Maybe somebody will tell us in our chat.
But
I need to get the chat thing up.
That book that you're just reading there's a couple. Actually, it's got one topic, but you're doing two different schools of thought that are in there. The things that you gotta keep in mind is everything is subject, right? Right. People don't realize that. They think it's it just things in society and events and everything else is just there and flaps in front of you, right? The bottom line is it takes somebody to interpret that to say, well, okay, this is what it is and what it's not. We didn't, 30 years ago, we didn't have dementia. Okay. We didn't have a lot of these illnesses that people have today.
That's true.
Because they were diagnosed by somebody and all of a sudden they say, well, what the heck's that going to be called? What kind of, condition is that? Dementia.
Right.
We didn't have that stuff. We didn't have ADD. We didn't have.
You mean Alzheimer's? Alzheimer's started to get more prevalent because there was still dementia. Because I mean, people would get old as old, and they, lost their wits. And you mean Alzheimer's? You mean that?
Yes.
Like 30, 40 years ago.
Anything that is a name thing or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to make where it comes together and say, well, okay, where does these attitudes and where are these things that you're saying is that, okay, these all have factors on, all of a sudden we have uprisings and everything else around. Okay. That's true. I mean, it's just like a woman's normal situation with the moon monthly. Okay. So
you mean a period?
They have those too. But my point is that we always think the moon is the one that's got the magnetism on everything, or the sun comes up every day, or whatever. And we do know, most people understand that the hemisphere does change by wobbling every year. And guess what? We have summer, fall, winter, and all this. Okay. Mm-hmm. But nobody's really made a good point of saying, well, okay, what does the effect of Pluto have on Jupiter that Jupiter has on this? And then it works itself down. See, our solar system is affected by what happens on other planets. Okay. Sometimes in my mind, I get a little excited that we keep throwing a rocket ship at the moon. We ought to leave.
You think that's really what's going on?
No, I really don't know. I'm open to anything. Okay. It's just like somebody asking, do you believe in aliens? Okay.
Have you met my dad?
Huh?
Have you met my dad?
I'm an alien. No kidding.
Yeah. I think I am an alien too.
I can climb a wall. I can tunnel underneath it. I can swim around it. But anyway, my point is that
you could go right through it.
Yeah, well, that's those damn Norwegians. They can do stuff like that. But quit doing that. You make me lose my train of thought. But what happens is we spend too much time in going and doing things, which is okay. It's just that we don't take in consideration when we get there that we may alter something and make a change on our environment, or make a change on somebody's, their thinking and all kinds of other things. It's all subjective. Don't everybody. Anytime somebody opens up their darn mouth, they're subjective. It's like the fact checkers. I've had people many times say to me, what you're saying is completely wrong. And this fact checker group did this and this and this. And I keep thinking, all right, here's the new thing again that never, ever came out. Nobody ever said this terminology. You drank the Kool-Aid. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, Bill O'Reilly was the father of that whole saying, but that was really a sad response to what happened down in Jamestown. Okay, that was all that they drank the Kool-Aid, and guess what happened? Okay,
yeah.
Now our culture uses that terminology constantly. That you're not up to speed because you drank the Kool-Aid. Well, you know what? Most of the people that say that don't even know where the hell that came from. Okay, right. And there was a lot of innocent people that died because somebody subjectively thought that they knew something better than everybody else. Okay.
I can't remember whether or not those people knew that there was cyanide in the I mean, it was literally Kool-Aid. I mean, it was a drink.
Well, let me tell you, you think
something like cyanide or something.
You think those kids knew that? There's just, so my point I'm trying to make is the fact that there's a lot of influences that we are self-perpetuating or we're labeling it, or anytime that anybody can think and say something about it, it's subjective. Okay. And like these fact checkers, I told my buddy, how many fact checkers are on there think that they know everything? Okay. The best person in the world, in my thinking, is the person that walks across Scandinavia or across Canada or whatever, and understand the environment and what our world's all about, or some Amazon person that lives down there in some tribal areas where they could care less if they had a tennis shoe. It's when we go and we present to them, oh, these poor kids don't have any shoes. Okay, they walk the beach and they're looking for something to eat. But the bottom line is, those kids in the Caribbean, they could care less about a pair of tennis shoes. They don't need that.
Correct.
So we label those, we are our own worst enemies. I've got enough problems with the damn communists and socialists and all this other stuff going on, because the problem is not because of exactly what they want to do for everybody, is that what makes them all of a sudden, king poopy, that this is the way we're supposed to live. Okay. So yes, I think that we have a tendency in getting too involved and making decisions on what other people have to say, and we label it. We go and label it, and then you're stuck with it.
Right. That's true. And when you name anything, you give it to a name to it, then you have basically taken possession of it. You know what I mean? It's like when they started calling everything, like you said earlier, about different diseases and things that people have now that we never seen before. So then we name it. Well, now we've created it because we've named it, and we didn't have this 50 years ago. We didn't have all what is it? We have such a huge amount now of kids being born with what is it called? Dang, my brain is like not thinking.
We kind of like ADD or something like that.
It's like ADD, but there is well, it's like they're genetically missing some things. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Doggone it. Well, anyway, I can't think of the name of it, but anyway, I did go to a conference one time, a couple of years ago, and they were talking about kids that have, what is it called? Anyway, she was talking about how they can repair this with utilizing tuning forks. And that when a child has whatever I'm trying to think of. Okay, give me help, spirit. That really literally, it's one of the energy. We have all these layers to our energy field, of course, that go out, very big. We're much huger than. That's why you can feel the presence of somebody come into the room before they ever enter, because their energy precedes them. So for a child that is autistic, that's the word, autistic children, they're one of the realms of usually it's their seventh, they said, I think it's their seventh layer out, which would be having to do, I think, with, see if we're flipping it upside down. A lot of people say you go from the root energy center up, and some people go the other direction. They go from the crown down. And they'll say, oh, this is number 7, number 6, number 5, 4 to the heart, 3 to the solar plexus, 2 to the sacral, and number 1 is your grounding center. They say the children that are autistic are missing one of those centers, or not functioning. But if you use a tuning fork, you can heal that and bring healing to that child. And sort of, it's not going to totally fix the autism, but it's going to bring some healing to them, because it's their sensory motor system that is not working properly, that sensory motor system. And but that's another one of those things we hear. Autism is so prevalent now. We didn't hear about, I never even heard of autism 30, 40 years ago,
Well, if I can jump in, because it's kind of my area.
Go ahead.
There's such a range of what autism looks, what it looks like, how it presents itself. I have had students who are completely nonverbal.
Yes.
I've had students that are very verbal, and like the nonverbal student, can barely care for him or herself. Now, I don't think that because it is an umbrella diagnosis. In fact, they changed it to autism spectrum disorder.
Okay.
That if we tease out all those things, first of all, I could diagnose anybody with autism.
Yeah.
It really is, how is it impacting somebody's life? Is it pervasive across many settings? It's a multitude of things that you need to go through to diagnose, not just medically, but also educationally. Mm-hmm. And are they able to access the curriculum, for example? Most of the time, my students were severe enough that they obviously could not access the normal curriculum. But then you have people with the same label who are pulling straight A's and are flying through high school in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really think that more than anything, that they might not. It's just a label. It's just a thing. Exactly it's just like my name's Shannon, your name's Rima, and Mark. That's my dad, Mark.
Exactly, label.
And so there's just a very big spectrum, and that's why they call it spectrum. But I think if you really, really teased it out and really figured it out, which I think they've been trying to for a very long time, I don't know that they're the same. I mean, it's just an avenue in which you can say, okay, so you can put in context that this person might have some more requirements to partake in something, right, or needs more supports. So it's very, very interesting, but to have such a big spectrum is, I don't know if it does us really a whole service. I don't know.
Whoever came up with this word, I mean, I never heard it for years ago. It's just like, usually years ago, 30, 40 years ago, if you've seen somebody that was like handicapped, in a situation, mentally handicapped, and that's what you said, they're sort of mentally handicapped. You didn't ever define it down to a word. I guess that's.
Yeah. And the intentions of that is good, so that you can kind of give it, especially when there's autism is a specific one that's really difficult. But if you said that person was born with Down syndrome, for example, we know that they have an extra chromosome, and that still doesn't mean that's a genetic, that's a chromosomal malformation, or not malformation, but you know what I mean, extra. It doesn't necessarily mean you can identify what that person's going to be like. You don't know. You have no idea.
Think about healing these people with Reiki and metaphysical means, like this person told me at that conference I went to. They said utilizing a tuning fork will help replace that aura, energetic. That energetic. One of their centers is basically malfunctioned.
Yeah, and I think there's probably, like really malfunction, but
well, you got to understand, tuning forks goes back into the ancient stuff. I mean, even they used to use bones and things like that,
right?
Long years and years and years and years ago, that had same types of things. But a good example of it lately, which is just absolutely horrific, is in Cuba. Those embassy people were subjective to vibrations that you really can't hear, and they damaged those people in their brains, and some of the wiring got screwed up in there, and they are hurt today. Okay, sure. You can see that's the reason why that the vibration portion of life can be so hard on some of these people without us knowing it. I mean, that's one. Yes. Those are the one things that technology's gotten better at, and it goes off in whole different other things like sonar and all kinds of other things. But the thing of it is, in my feeling, I think that a lot of this stuff is we all are starting to understand it and know it, but all it's doing to me is supporting what happened, years and years and years ago, like when I was born and stuff like that. You always met the grandmas. Okay, the grandmas were always there of some sort. Okay, if you think back a little bit, that was the way the family was kind of diagnosing where this kid was going. Follow me? Those old bag of rocks could understand that this kid may have some issues that they would tell the moms or fathers or whatever, that this child may have some conditions that technically now we've got a name for it now. Okay. But they in a loving way took care of that child and made it better. And those kids would actually work on the farm or work in their culture just fine. Okay.
Well, there were some people that didn't, though. There's some people that said, oh, there was something wrong with my child. And, somebody came and picked that kid up right up from the hospital. They spent the remainder of their days in some institution. So there's other situations.
So that's like what you put your grandma, get your old folks away in a home, or do you keep them and take care of them? But that's a very old, excuse me, it's very old school, but we've came so far. I believe every generation has stepped in another measure farther away from the grounded family unit. You know what I'm saying? Where we took care of grandma and grandpa till they were gone. And kids.
I call it the New York syndrome, because the thing of it is that once the baby is born, or once the child is born, or whoever they are, they may have all kinds of issues going on, their sexuality, whatever they have. Okay.
Yep.
When you go into, if you do that in our rural community that we live up here, and Shannon's one of them, we foster children a lot different than what they do down in inner city. I was born and raised and grew up in Detroit. Okay. I am not a Detroit person. Okay. When I go into Chicago or Toronto or big cities, and I used to travel a lot of South American countries for my job, that drives me nuts, because there's always a culture that's outside the city limits, and there's also the culture that's inside it. Exactly. And what happens, let's go back to the vibrations. Those kids come back, they as they grow up, they're banging around inside these buildings. They're not going out into the trees and everything else that's out there. So it's really nice for somebody that's sitting in a big room and labeling these kids with some issue that they may have. And then they end up being walking clinical kids. They're not being fostered in a loving way. Okay. Wow. So guess what happens when they're 25 or 30 years old? Okay. My kids, okay, except for the one up there in the left-hand corner, okay, they understand.
It's like the Brady Bunch. I don't know how to do it.
They understand no matter who you are, you have a place in this world. Mm-hmm. Now, I may not understand that. Somehow something went wrong with this thing. They may not understand it, but that's what they were raised about. They understand that person has a right to be here and they need to be loved. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not perfect. I judge people all the time. Then I have to sit back and go, uh-oh. The lightning of Odin's going to come and hit you right between the eyeballs. Okay.
Dad, say hi to your niece.
Hi, niece. Which one?
Hey, Taylor.
Oh, Taylor. I love that kid. She's my goddaughter. Aww. Anyway, so what happens is that, we've lost a tremendous amount of that. And I'm on another website right now, which happens to be a lot of, Shannon always kind of corrects me. He's a Sami from the Sami culture.
Sami.
Okay. He's a shaman. Okay. And he picked me out of the storm of stuff that we deal with our culture, the Nordic culture. And the thing of it is that he says, how the heck does this gal named AOC that's in New York wants to do Greenpeace all over the world and has never really stepped out of the outskirts of Rochester, New York? You know what? And that makes a lot of sense. You know where he lives? He lives in Finland. Oh, and the closest place from where he lives of any size of, like, what I'm talking, like 500 people, it's like 300 miles away.
Oh my goodness.
So, but they have all this stuff that we have that you and I are doing right now up there up in the coldest part of the world. Okay. Yeah. And they're up there saying, well, that gal's, how the hell can she tell Sweden and Finland, because they have to deal with that culture over there, that we need to have the green plan. Okay. And trust me, I am the first one to agree with Greenpeace activities and where they're going with it. It's just that the people that are driving it are not from the country. They're from the city. Okay.
Right.
So they don't have a clue of where this is all going. Okay. But I just so happens to follow the path of, my spiritual being of being a Scandinavian and the culture that I, somewhat grew up with and tried to pass along to my children that, the world is completely changing, but we have to be aware that, we need to keep everybody grounded. But there is going to be things happening out there all the time. It's just going to happen. And they just don't see it the way we do. Okay.
Okay. Can I swing back to the autism topic?
Yeah.
Because we got into like 50 of them.
Yep. Go for it.
All right. So, bless your heart, Dad. So in school, we what?
You just blessed it.
Okay.
Every time she talks, she blesses it.
Oh, Dad. Okay. So anytime, because I would have the most severe students in my experience, severely affected by whatever label they have, always came with a cognitive impairment. So we do look at all the different sensories and how to integrate those things for healing on a cellular level. Especially the most, because they are literally like this exposed nerve sometimes, even down to I might have one. I have this is an Ayurvedic brush that I set it out so that I would do it, and I still forgot to do it today. But we brush students.
Okay.
Because they're so
sensory,
sensitive.
Yes, very sensory oriented.
Some don't like it. Some like it. Some will come to you and ask for it, and then you do it for a minute, and then they punch you because it was too much.
Right.
It was,
yeah.
I'm making just like examples because there's a huge range. There are certain sounds often are because they just maybe are more sensitive. I just more sensitive, more like an exposed nerve. So if you get weird into an echo, there is students that like literally just don't even like the sound of your voice sometimes. So you either try to slow it down or pick it up or, change the frequency of within your own voice so that students are able to exist in that space. And then you break them into, you just kind of like easily or slow them into your normal whatever. You just have to be very, very observant and very aware of what things are triggering, or, you see them like pull into themselves, or, you really have to get to know each student for their own uniqueness, regardless of what their label is. So we look at all the senses. We look at tactily, we look at auditory, and bring in different therapeutic things. Like there's some students that really benefit on walking in like routine, grounding somebody, creating a routine is very grounding. It's very securing for them. So for anyone, actually, I mean, it doesn't matter if you have an impairment of some sort or not. Like that's, you get up, you do the same things usually every day. Those things are very grounding for people. Doesn't matter who you are. So like a certain song at a certain pitch, what is it? The SOL, the scale, the frequency, different frequency scales, or different beta waves, beta, theta, all those different things, and really kind of having some insight for that in observing them, really observing how they're either calm.
I don't think that the vibration is going to really change or heal it. I think it would alter their experience, but I believe in the end, to bring it all the way back 360 degrees, that when a child comes in or a person comes into that incarnation like that, they have made that choice to come in that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They've said, okay, I'm going to come into this incarnation, and this is the life I'm going to choose to have. And I'm going to come in very sensitive. I'm going to be auditorially sensitive. And this is a gift to the family. I really believe that.
Right.
Even though it's a very, like you said, a lot of families will come in and say, no, I don't want that gift, and put it away in a home, you know, and because they can't deal with it, you know what I mean?
But smells is a big thing too. So
yeah.
we really do look at all the different things that, because smells have frequency.
Yeah.
That's why we look at our,
That's exactly right.
you know, like your more grounded essential oils, like things that are from a root vegetable, there it's going to have a lower well, not really lower in the bad, like
higher vibrational smells, higher vibration. It's all, I think it all plays together, and I think it all comes to what we incarnated for, honestly. And I know, you know, some people also believe that, I mean, I do believe in generational things following generations, you know, where things can follow the path through the generation. So 5 generations ago, this could happen. This thing can happen in the family, and it can show up 5 generations later.
So some of the research, as far as I know, specific to autism, is they are linking mercury and vaccinations. Sorry, people, but they are
Really?
to. There's been some new studies out on that. The other thing that they noticed is there's a correlation. There's a correlation between families that produce children. There's also misdiagnoses too. So there's a Fragile X syndrome that is sometimes it's actually different, but it presents the symptoms often present very similar. Now I've had students that had Fragile X syndrome, and they don't always present in the same way, but their issues, they were also, I think maybe they were also diagnosed educationally with, because the medical diagnosis is not the same as the educational diagnosis.
Okay.
It would be like, I have a broken leg. Well, you don't go to school and you're not a student with a broken leg. You know, right. It's a medical diagnosis versus an educational one. So the students so there are some misdiagnoses too, and ultimately you throw it all up in the air. They're probably all misdiagnoses because we don't get it. No. We don't understand. You have to think of each person as a unique individual, just like you or I. Right. So,
exactly.
Yep.
I don't fully understand it. I know my husband's, he has a nephew that is autistic, and he is nonverbal, speaks very little. And always very sensory oriented. It's what's flashing, what's spinning. That's why he likes to watch the dryer. You know, it's what's spinning, what's flashing. Very observant, and that's his thing. You know.
And it sounds sweet and nice, but when you have students or you need to move throughout the day and you can't watch that whole dryer cycle, you got to go get on the bus.
Right.
That can be a meltdown, and that can be it's, you know, might be a big deal when they're 5, but when they're still living with you at 25, right. and happens,
that's going on.
That's intense. Right. It could be very dangerous. Yeah. But there's also things that happen that, you know, like there's self-injurious behaviors, students that will, because they can be a raw nerve. They can be like this hypersensitive nerve, and it can also be the other way. It can be hypo as well. Right. That also affects for some students feeding. So there's a lot of things where they will chew and they'll pack their cheek full of food because they really actually can't sense where the food is in their mouth until they just kind of keep shoveling this. And I say they, like they all do it. No, not
this
not even
type
close.
of person. Right.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, like it's just, you know, it's very unique to each person. Like,
wow, it's amazing.
You know, you wear your hair
of it is really amazing to me.
Then, yeah, you wear your hair that way. I wear my hair this way.
Only thing I can sort of parallel it with is I worked in a nursing home when I was very young. That was one of the first jobs I got before I had a family. First got married. I thought, well, I got to get a job. So I went and worked I got a CNA at a nursing home, became a nurse assistant. And I seen a lot of that kind of stuff happening with older people. They were, I mean, I met some of the most amazing people that were, you know, in that nursing home. But they were they would have like hitting spells, and they'd slap the shit out of you. I'm not kidding. If you went to do anything to them, bam, 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 you get smacked in the head. And I was like, and a lot of people were afraid of those people, and I would just like go in there and talk to them very gently, because I believe it now that I know so much more. I think it was all vibratory energy that was going on, you know.
But even like, but you went back to the chakras. One of the things that is very, at least common amongst the population of the more severely impaired with autism spectrum disorder, is spinning. Love a lot of them.
Yes, I noticed that.
I'm saying a lot of them, but yeah, I mean, everyone is very unique. Like the spinner, the one that really likes the spinning isn't necessarily going to be the cheek packer.
Right.
That just really, you know, so spinning, like let them loose in a gym and they'll start spinning. Woo-hoo, stuff that, you know, like if you did the whole fist on the bat thing, and you
had the bat.
It's like that times, I don't know, 50, 100, and they can just keep doing it. And like you or I, we would just fall out, right?
Nope.
They're fine.
Myself.
Staying still.
Pile a bunch of mattresses
more
if I start spinning around, because I'm going down. I'm going to hit the ground.
Right. But staying still for them and not spinning
is abnormal, sort of. Yeah.
Well, it's just, it feels good. It'd be like, you know how you put something cozy on and it just feels good. Right. And you'll see like people will automatically kind of rock themselves a little bit. It's a soothe. So that's a self-soothing behavior. So, okay, when somebody's spinning like that, you know, they got their arms out, they're spinning around and around, and they're like literally Tasmanian devil. You ever seen that? Where he spins around? Not that they're not devils, but you know, like, but that's the character.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Imagine that, and then getting their attention. So we're going to do an activity. But when they're 5 and they're running into people, well, when they're 300 pounds and they're 20 and they're doing that, and kind of a dangerous thing.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a Taz in our family.
We sure do. We sure do, don't we? Dreama knows who that is.
Well, welcome to my
Yeah, she does.
My brain is like, I'm still half awake. I mean, what an intense night. I cried all night. I don't know why, but
like you wept, like your eyes wept?
Weeping all night long. I think I was going through shedding something, maybe. I don't know. It was weird. But
I shed something twice this morning.
Yeah, you did.
Killing it.
Good for you.
It's gonna be a great day.
Good for you. I didn't do that, but it was just an intense evening, so I'm still feeling a little bit of the ripples from it. So it's going to be a good day.
I got a new tarot deck.
You did? Awesome.
I did. I was telling my dad about it. I was really excited. And it's based on the elements. And I was farting around while you guys were talking. I was shuffling a little bit. 3 of them popped out.
Okay. What did we get?
The Witch of the Water.
Ooh.
Look at she's a...
Yeah.
I'm not going to look at their meanings right now, but maybe I'll leave them out and my dad and I can do it later. Craftsman of Water. Oops, sorry.
Oh, wow.
Can you see?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see on the camera. Yeah. He's got like a headdress on and a loincloth. And Goddess of Water.
Wow. See, and
the
first thing I seen the guy on the water this morning.
Yeah.
So it's all the captain on the water. That's what I seen earlier. I'm like, what's this captain on the water thing going on?
Lots of water. So we got to be fluid with our emotions, as I'm taking from that. I'm not even
looking at the book. Because of me, Dreama.
Yep.
Well, Dad, you know, we can see you. You don't really have pants on.
Well, I'll tell you the reason why.
Oh, okay. There's the captain on the water. Very good.
Actually, guess what the name of that boat is?
What?
That boat, its name is Odin.
Oh, wow. Really?
And that was my father's racing sailboat that we sailed all over the place.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And actually, I'm a professional racing sailor. So, and I lived on a boat in Florida for about 10, 12 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you are the captain on the water.
Oh, yeah.
Very
I used to have a captain's license, but when I got sick, I couldn't do that any longer.
Okay.
What did you say? Mutiny on the booty?
Mutiny on the booty.
Yeah,
Bounty.
It's the bounty, not the booty.
Bounty.
That's not the booty, girl.
That's funny. Oh,
well,
that's what happens when I push that button.
Okay, now you know.
Yeah, now I
That's
know.
mutiny on the
you
booty.
gotta have booty in the bounty somewhere.
Yeah.
We had a really nice
Oh, no.
booty in the body
Oh, no.
or something like that. Anyway, that may be the ceiling. That may be the thing
Anyway,
you had.
Well, that's interesting. And we're still getting the water going, though. Same water with your cards. I like those cards. What are they called?
It's called. I was really hesitant because it's called the Witch's Wisdom Tarot.
Really? Very cool.
Yeah, but I mean, really, that name doesn't even. I mean, witches in the sense that it's earthy.
Right. Yeah, which is very earthy. It's a wise woman that knows
Yeah.
her way around healing and the earth. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I pull stuff from my dad, I usually get well, if we don't do like Bruins or something, but I'll get like the shaman, and I'll get what's the other one? The hangman, which is they say that's supposed to be like Jesus or Odin.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's kind of neat. It always pops up for him. I don't know.
Really?
That's kind of neat.
Yes, the Knights Templars also followed a version of that as well. And they actually wore a medallion that had that on it. And so the Knights
Had what on it, Dad?
Huh?
Their medallion had what on it?
It was like a cross, but it also looked like Jesus.
Oh.
And it had an eyelet at the top and at the bottom, and it was usually made out of ancient iron, or had some kind, or lead or something like that. Any of the symbol that was on there. In fact, the Knights Templar, you saw the sails and their flags all had the red cross that's similar to what the Germans had during World War II for their airplanes, but it's a pretty exotic swastika looking, but it's not a swastika. And anyways, they have found those necklaces in several places in Vancouver that has been dated to like 1000 AD that they've run across, and obviously that's where a Knights Templar person probably died.
Right. Yeah.
So they found these artifacts there, which is kind of interesting.
That is very interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway.
Well,
This has been a good, interesting morning conversation. Very
But
good.
I follow the Knights Templars because it's the Scandinavian. Pardon me?
did you mute yourself?
I didn't hear
Oh,
you.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I think your sound.
You fell out
Can you
for a
hear
minute
me?
there.
You're-
Yeah.
I haven't touched nothing.
You didn't touch it? What's going on?
Okay.
You muted me. My hands are down here.
That's weird. It just
But
went out.
yeah, somebody's working on our
It's going
audio.
in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some stuff
It's-
going on.
Well, do you two want to do anything intuitive for anybody before we close out? Want to offer that up?
Intuitive in what way?
Well, you have to follow Dreama. She just follows. I just follow her.
Just follow her. Well, I've drank a lot of coffee, and so it's like pushing me to the restroom. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
like, I
So
gotta
not
go to the
today.
bathroom. So that's like my prominent thought.
Potty
I gotta
time.
go to the
We don't want to piss you off.
bathroom. Yeah. No. I gotta go.
Well, I mean, it's up to you. We can pause, Dad, and I can keep talking. I really don't want to drain you either. So, I mean, we drain you potty, but not the other.
But not the other side.
Well, the thing right now is this last weekend with everything going on. Plus, my problem is the fact that my children are pretty dynamic kids. Fortunately, I always say I had 6 kids and 3 of them weren't so good looking, so we took them back. So the other 3 I got left are pretty dynamic kids, and to be honest with you, I shouldn't worry about them at all, but I do all the time. And then
You also used to say that mom was Catholic and you were Lutheran, and your kids are Jewish.
no,
You also used to tell people that. Like,
well, no, they
what?
were. Well, I changed the story every once in a while when it was convenient, because I kept saying you're Krishnas, because you always wanted to go.
Oh my.
So I always wanted to do what?
Oh, forget it.
Mike keeps going in and out.
Yeah, I always wanted to go hang out with the yogis or something.
No, because we always wanted to go to the airport to sell candles.
Oh,
PCU doesn't necessarily happen.
That's from the 70s and 80s, so forget that one.
I know.
So anyway.
All right. Well,
yes, I am kind of drained from that situation too. But the thing of it is that right now, I think we all can understand that if you happen to have some gifts that obviously, Dreama, you have, sometimes it's extremely draining. Like you said that last night you had some issues going on of some sort. You can't put your finger on it. Well, those things do happen. Unfortunately enough, sometimes those things happen, and at least in my case, sometimes I don't know what that is for a while.
That's true.
So,
oh yeah.
And so like Shannon, for example, let's say if she had an issue, which, oh boy, I hope never does happen, but there might be some kind of a juju, I call it juju communication out there. And I don't know who the hell where it's coming from, but it's like, it's like the alarm went off, So that does drain people. Let me tell you right now, if there was a blue light special and it's connected to with a blue light and juju, it's right, because of all the stuff in Washington and the COVID and the
right,
and your day-to-day stuff you have, and there's restaurants and your friends' restaurants and businesses are being closed down, and the Republicans are Republicans and Democrats are Democrats, and quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, at this point in time, just about put them all in the same bucket and throw them out in the lake. And something that we don't want to get involved in our government could get in there, and it affects all my kids, and so I don't want that to happen. So it scares the hell out of me. I mean, I may not like my neighbor, but I sure as heck don't want something to happen to him.
Right.
So
that's a good point.
There's everything out there right now. Is if you're a shaman and you've got some kind of gift, it's really hard on you, because it's as soon as that we relax and we turn down at some point in time of the day or whatever, that's when that stuff all kicks in for me. And so when I take a nap, like when Shannon says, I have to take a nap every day. My doctor makes me take a nap. And so what happens is they were wise enough to realize that I was, burning up too much brain power of some sort, whether it was good or bad, but that it just wears me out,
Yeah, exactly. I
so
just barely fall over.
The thing of it is that there's a lot of things out there that the gifted people need to either act on it, which by our thing and kind of the law is we can't get involved in it, but we can, we can see things and we can try best we can, but we physically really go into anything, we can, but that's hard, and so, I see a lot of pain and suffering right now that, oh my God, I just don't understand why people want to get why they have to put their 2 cents in there and make it harder for somebody, you know? So, okay, she wrote on here. Wow, he's
Yeah.
place. Okay.
You were funny there for a moment. You were just going. That was Dad, that was like half hour ago that I said that.
Ah,
I know.
You were just talking.
It took me a half hour to put it through my sensors.
I felt like before I took my little break there for a minute there, I felt like
Your potty break?
yeah. Yeah, I feel much better now. I had all that coffee and water and everything. So
I
now
feel better now too.
I feel better. I just felt like sending a offering of a blessing for the day. Honestly, before we all split, do our
Yes.
things for the day, I just came.
I was on that same wavelength.
Really?
Good
I
job.
felt like
Yeah.
the Spirit was like, you need to offer a blessing for this day,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's what I think I need to just flow into, just a blessing.
Okay.
And just anybody got any sage or something? I don't got any right.
I
You
do.
could light it
I've
and
got-
just please do light it for this.
I got my lighter too.
Oh, I want that lighter. I love that.
I got Palo Santo
Oh,
or sage.
yeah, sage is good. Beautiful. Yeah, because I don't got any right here, but I could go get some. But I don't want to leave this space. I feel really like we're supposed to stay in this space and in this time and connection. And we just thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this day. We thank you for this gathering. We thank you for our those that have tuned in with us today. We thank you that we just want to come in gratitude and just keep our focus of gratitude today for all our blessings, all of those connections, divine connections that you've created in our life, in this path, in this time. And I thank you for this wonderful morning together as we join hearts and minds and offering what needs to be today.
Wow.
Stirring something up. That was stirring it up. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what energy went in there with that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that was like, whoa.
About that.
They,
Hey,
He's one to pray. He wants to offer an offering too.
yeah. They're in
Yeah,
agreement.
they're in agreement. That's the agreement offering. So
well,
that-
free
go ahead,
That's
baby. Go ahead. Say the offering.
dog, and she's.
It's
I
okay.
actually have. Let's see, 6, 5. I got 4 dogs around me right now, and it.
Oh, wow.
You know, huskies are talking dogs, and so sometimes this particular guy here, he's almost scary in the sense that I think he's got some he's possessed of some sort. His name is Freya, and he was supposed to be a girl,
Okay.
but he ended up being a boy because
Being a boy.
when he was born, we thought he was a girl, and we were so excited that we had him. And then I took him to the doctor, and when he was 2 days old, and his jewels out. So we just kept him that
Oh,
girl's
that's why
name.
you were named.
Wow.
That's why it says Sue on your birth certificate. Now I get it.
Wow.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
is Freya,
It was
and as you can
went right
see,
over his head.
Wow. That's intense.
and he's
Wow.
my youngest one. Hey, no. And then they all think that they're photogenic. So
I
this
keep
is
muting his
Balto.
microphone and then you bark again.
Yeah.
Did you
Balto.
know that they're taking? See, Balto? See up there? They're taking.
You probably can't see that.
They're taking medicine
That's a
up
big
to Alaska. This COVID shots up to by dog sled up to Alaska to the remote villages again.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. They can't get it to
Okay,
them.
Well, we should probably.
Anybody else can go ahead and follow up with blessing.
I was just gonna go ahead and finish up our blessing. Go ahead, Dreama.
Yeah, you go ahead.
just wishing everybody the best. We have lots of craziness in our atmosphere.
Yeah.
Definitely, we're feeling that big time. Lots of the message was be fluid with your it's okay. Just let it wash over you. I mean, I need that for me.
Yes.
Just wash over.
That's right.
That was so lots of gratitude for where we are.
Yes.
And if we have no other prayer, let it be thank you.
Yes, that's good. I love it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So
yes.
Aho, amen. So be it.
Blessed be.
Play ball.
And that's it. Yeah. That's it. Beautiful.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Well, you know how they say goodbye in Russian, Dreama?
No.
Goodbye.
Oh. Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'll see you later. Yeah, and blessings. Have a great day, guys. Love you all.
All right. Bye.
Talk to you later.